G'day all and welcome to the fan cams for Fremantle's Saturday night victory at Optus Stadium. We defeat North Melbourne 10-13, 73 to 10-7, 67 by 6 points. 4 points is 4 points. Hey, not every single one of them can be convincing. Not every single win can be one that we're jumping for joy over. Some of them we have to brutally review what went wrong, but also just enjoy the 4 points because not every dub's going to be pretty. And I think we've just got to accept that. There'll be a lot of unhappiness amongst our fan base tonight. It was interesting being at the game. The whole game was a bit weird, to be honest. Not just how the game played out, but just it being a North home game. The whole atmosphere was a bit odd. I thought there were a lot of Roos fans there, which really surprised me. So, yeah, the game was interesting. And how the game played out itself, in my view, was just a team that not necessarily wanted it more. I thought both teams' hunger and effort was definitely there. But it was certainly a case of, I think one team adapted to the conditions over the course of 4 quarters more, and that was North Melbourne. But I think just the team who are cleaner and better got the win in the end, and that was Fremantle. So it was an interesting one. You have those ones. Even the good teams have games where they're winning. A lot of good teams lose these types of games. The fact we've got 4 points from it's a real positive. Obviously, Brisbane drew to the Roos not long ago, which was a near boil over. So yeah, it's 4 points. Don't know what to say. It was big last quarter. We obviously conceded 4 goals to 1. Jackson kicked the winner. But, Tracy, that game-saving mark. I thought the backline held up well. I thought in particular the best 3 back there were Ryan Wagner, and I thought Bailey Banfield was exceptional. So, yeah, we'll get into the waiting room if you are here and you want to come have your say. The link's in the description. We'll get into the fan cam shortly because we've already got a few people in the waiting room. We'll get into chat quickly just to see what the chat's saying. No win is the worst. If you win, that's what matters. It's a long season just coming off a bye. It's unrealistic to think we'd play well every week, especially with the youth we have. Yeah, exactly. I thought we dug in pretty well, and yeah, not every win can be super pretty. So yeah, we'll take it. Exactly. It's the first time we haven't lost off the bye since 2021. So that's a positive. Breaking all sorts of records this year. A premiership would be nice. Josh Tracy for All-Australian fullback. Look, I don't see why not. We'll take the win, but coming off a bye, I reckon the lads were a bit flat. Hopefully, Fremantle can do some major damage against Essendon next Thursday, like a 100-plus point win. Well, hey, I'm not going to start talking about 100-point wins till we actually put one on the board, because that was the opportunity that could have presented itself tonight, and we won by 6 points. So, yeah. Obviously, the Bombers got pantsed by the Cats today, 95 points at the MCG. So that was a rough one for them, but it's a 5-day break for both of us. The Bombers are going to have to travel to Perth off the 5-day break. So yeah, we'll certainly be at the advantage, but I thought the boys looked a bit tired even in the third quarter. So hopefully we get that sorted. Obviously, we'll have a few forced team changes, in particular Switkowski from the sounds of it, pinged to Hammy, unfortunately, which is gutting. He's been having a really good season. Jeremy Sharp, I thought, was noticeably bad for the first time in a while today. So hopefully O'Driscoll comes in for him, and then ideally Alex Pearce replaces Draper. But that's an ideal world. I'm not sure what's actually going to happen. We'll be live for the teams on Wednesday. We will beat Essendon and still PTSD following the defeat in round 21. That's right. That's the last time we played them. Don't bring that negativity into chat. Switkowski will be in doubt for the Dons clash. Likelihood Dudley coming in for him. Going to be interesting team selection for both clubs. Indeed will be. I'm not sure if the Bombers go with a bit more youth. I'm not sure who they've got coming back from injury. So, yeah, that will be an interesting one. Why is there a fan cams? There was no match as far as I'm aware. Oh, look, I'm sure we'd all love to just forget about it, but we can after tonight. Roos have always had a strangely large WA fan base. Yeah, we have. Oh, they have, haven't they? Yeah, it didn't feel like a Freo home game, did it? Probably helps it wasn't. We broke the bye curse. Doubly straight in for Switter. Yeah, probably should. Probably should be. Straight swap. I feel like we missed Duds and Pearce tonight. Yeah, 100%. I reckon Pearce would have made a big difference. I called Pat Voss's breakout game. Good seeing his moment in the spotlight. 100%. Great to see Vossi do all that good stuff. All right, let's get into the fan cams. Got a few in the waiting room. Blasphemous, are you there, mate? He's ready, I think.
Life and life, twice. Life and life, twice as sexy. How are you going?
I'm good, mate. What would you make of the game?
Honestly, you guys have all summated it like perfectly. Like I can't really say much more, in all honesty. Like it's. I don't want to be like one of the naysayers, but like a win's a win. We got the 4 points. We've broken the curse. Yeah, contest wise, like inside everything inside like the midfield was like perfect. Like Rachel and Sarong were just absolutely creaming it. They like from what I saw in the stands, they were fantastic. But everything in terms of connection, it just wasn't working, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm a little bit gobsmacked. Like we got the win, we got the 4 points. Move on. We've broken the curse, but there's not much else I can say. I was coming into this contest going like we're a 40-point, 50-point plus team, and it just didn't happen. But I think we'll all be on this podcast right now having a very, very different conversation if it was -6 versus plus 6 at the moment. So yeah, that's what else can you say?
That's my sort of mindset. Like that very easily could have gone the other way. Like the Fino Sullivan fresh airy soccer, directly in front. If he scores that, we're having a different conversation right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are so many split second moments that happen throughout the course of a game, and at the end of the day, it's a results business, and we've got the 4 points, and not every win's going to be pretty. But the main thing is that we've actually chalked up the 4 points. We're still in the 8, and we've won 4 in a row, which is the bottom line, which we can still build off.
Yeah, and to put it quite bluntly, because my mum and my brother who've come from Bidding Up Hill came to this game. We literally just bluntly said this is like one of those shit wins where like occasionally you're gonna have a shit win. That we're all disgruntled and everything, coming out of the stadium, but then you take a deep breath, you decompress, and you go, well, occasionally, that situation where you think you're going to be the 50, 60 point winning team and you're going to grind it out like Collingwood have done time and time and time and time again. Well, guess what? We've just done it. And we've done it also in a situation where you can statistically, guess what? We've now broken the hoodoo. So there's nothing much more I can really say. It's just, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the game. Move on, decompress. As J-Lo says, game after game, horses for courses, and that's it.
Exactly right. 5-day break. We've got to just reset and go again against the Bombers. I'm interested to hear though, the Darcy Jackson combo obviously has been a thing every single week this season, whether it's better to have Jackson solo arc or Darcy in there with him or the splits and whatever. What did you make of it today? Because I thought Darcy competed so well.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's always going to be a point of contention with this team. But I think the more we actually play around with it, the more people are going to be second guessing this team. So, why not use that to our advantage rather than all of it just being a point of contention and being a negative naysayer? Is use it as a way to as your flip card. So, yeah, it's both of them have proven. Especially, obviously with Jackson and they just all Australian contention through the past of the season, and Darcy, slowly evolving the way he is. As much as I was one of his biggest critics, early in the start of the season, even though he was injured, that's where is this point and where's he established his self-esteem? But I think now that we've got Jackson not only as a ruck versus a forward versus a midfielder, and clearly he's, as an inside midfielder is always going to reign supreme versus him being a forward. That why does it matter? Why are we having this discussion? Sorry, a couple of beers under my belt, as he would after a game like this. But yeah, exactly. It's just we're in a very, very good situation at the moment. Let's take away the positives versus the negatives. It's very, very easy to do that. We got a lot going ahead for us versus a lot going back, and combine that with the situation with look at all the results that happened this round. A lot of upsets. It just shows you how even the playing field is across the ladder here. That it's very, very easy for us to drop from where we are in the middle of the table down to the bottom, versus it's very, very easy for for teams that are like in the top four to easily get defeated by guys in the bottom four. So we've got to all keep a level head here, because it's not like it was in the 90s where it's a very, very professional game here now. And yeah, I think it's very easy to get caught in the motions.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. 4 points is 4 points, and we'll move on to the Bobbers on Thursday. Thanks for joining, and have a good one.
No worries. Cheers, man.
There's a bit more chat before we'll get into the next few fan camps. Still got a few people in the waiting room. Diggy, we'll get you in next. Dudley straight in for Switter. Yeah, I'd agree. I think that's probably the consensus change. It was great to see Fife get everyone on their feet and the whole stadium went boom. Oh, how good was it? There was just a random eruption in the stadium, and I wasn't aware why. And then I look over to the dugout and I see my glorious number 7 just striding onto Optus. How good. Wins and win, boys. Such an important win for our season. Back in the top 8. Next 2 games at Optus. Exactly right. And 3 of our next 4 are at Optus. The only time we travel in our next 4 is against the Swans at the SCG, which is a winnable game in itself. So, yeah, we've got a favourable run coming up, and we've just got to make the most of it. 4 points, we'll take it. Every other team and fan will hate it, but us Freo fans should take that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hopefully that game fires the team up even more for the next 2 against Essendon and Saints, and we take the 4 points in both those games as well. Yeah, exactly. We've just got to build. That's the main thing. Yes, it wasn't pretty, but we just got to build. 4 points is 4 points. I reckon I've said that already about 15 times. Yeehaw. All right. Diggy, you're next, mate. You ready? He looks it. Mate.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, mate. Sorry if I scared you on the street the other week when you were going the South game.
Mate.
I was facing the other direction having a cigarette, and I heard your voice, and I was like, man, I know that voice. And then I turned and I sort of seen the side. I've got to run up and say good day to him.
Mate, you sprinted. I've never seen
I know, mate. I
was
playing you a little bit there.
Oh, mate. How do you enjoy the game tonight?
Look, man, I just want to say a few things. Look, at the start of this season, dude, I think my expectations were just to make the 8, right? So I just think as a fan base, we've all got to sort of just keep a level head, we're 8 and 5. It's not as bad as it seems. Yeah, we could have won some games that we probably let slip. We were shocking against the Saints. We had a dud game against Geelong. I don't know. I just feel like we just need to keep a level head. We're still young. We've got a lot of talent. I still think maybe in 2-3 years is going to be our mark, I think if we can make finals this year, even win a game in finals, that'd be ideal. But I think we're not getting the chocolates is probably a bit far-fetched, but we could do it. You never know. I just think keep our expectations limited, and I think it's going to be ideal for us as fans. But Sharp. He ran 16.5 kilometres or something tonight, nearly a K or 2 higher than anyone else. So I know we dig on the boy. I just want to get back to how he runs. And I know that running's not everything, but I played football 8 years and I made Pill Thunder Colts. And sometimes, man, you don't get the footy. But it's what you do for your team and the little things that you do off the ball that matter a whole lot. And Sharp, I watch him hard and he does try his guts out. And as wingmen, they don't always get in the right spots. But I think Sharp, if we leave him in, I think we'll get the best out of him in a few more seasons. That's my personal view. Maybe everyone doesn't agree, but I like Sharp personally. Also, Swiatkowski got 9 score involvements out of 14 touches. I think that's amazing before he got injured. Love that boy's effort. Love Fifey's hands when he came on as well. And Wagner. I think Wagner's an absolute beast.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Fife, first of all, he's had like 16 touches in 2 quarters of football, basically, since coming back. The bloke is just the perfect sub at the moment because, you know, Banfield was playing that role quite a bit, you know, throughout the early part of the season, and his versatility made him valuable there. But just Fife's influence and sort of his maturity to be able to come on, read the game, and just get in the right positions. His handballing is something that we don't have amongst any other sort of place in our team. He's just one of a kind with some of the things he does, even at his ripe old age. So yeah, loved Fifey's game. Wags is just such a consistent contributor, just vital to that back six. And yes, Switter, I didn't realize 9 score involvement.
Popping out a little bit there, man. Look, man, I just wanted to come on. I think my net's bad.
Yeah, you're gone. He's gone. Well, there you go. Sometimes the internet doesn't hold up for everybody, and that's a prime example of that. Get in the waiting room if you haven't already. We'll be on for a little bit longer. Strong and Brayshaw was huge. They brought huge tackling pressure. Yeah, definitely. I thought both of them were really, really good. We're still the youngest team. Exactly. And that the good teams, like Collingwood, I recall doing this against some really bad teams. Even North. I recall them doing this against North multiple times. So it's not unheard of. I really don't think this is a game where, and to be honest, I think from what I've read in chat and from what I've read from most of this fan base outside of this channel, we're really level-headed. I think we know where we're at. We knew that was a shit game. We knew that was just one where we had to get in and get out with the 4 points. But it doesn't matter because you're going to have those games. And I'm just happy the fan base is sort of realizing that and not jumping on the players' back. Because I think there are a few individual performances that are, you know, we can sing the praises of. You know, the Strongs, the Brayshaws were fantastic. Tracy didn't kick a goal, but I thought he contested really well. We all loved Pat Voss's game. Nearly kicked 4, kicked 3. So yeah, I thought there were some individual performances we can sing the praises of without getting too carried away with how bad of a performance it was. All right, next up, Jamie. You've got a black screen there. I'm ready to get you on. If not, we'll go to Jordan. Nah, Jamie's ready. G'day, brother.
Hello, how you going?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, right. Fucking, it's just like it's good and it's disappointing, and like it's hard to wrap your head around. But yeah, it's like I have a few sort of like nitpicky things, but it's just sort of like it was okay, but kind of subpar as a performance in total. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of us are at. Were you at the game?
I think that's where everyone's at.
Have we lost connection? Maybe
Can you still hear me?
We're about, all right, I reckon we're on about a 10-second delay. I'll quickly, hold up. Let's see. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
The delay, I don't have any delay on my end, I don't think.
Yeah, I've got heaps of delay. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do this. This is a bit cooked.
All right. Get someone else on, see if it's better.
Yeah, I will. Maybe leave the studio and rejoin. I'll see if I can get you back on. All right. Not sure what's happened there. That might be my end because he seems to be okay. We'll see if anything's better with Jordan, and then we'll see if we can get Jamie back on after. Jordan?
Yep. How's the delay there? I don't know. I think
that's fine. That's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I don't know. It's as I said, I came to this game thinking we weren't going to win. Like a lot of people probably thought. I thought we were going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be like a percentage booster. When you go into a game thinking it's going to be a percentage booster, that typically doesn't happen. So I did kind of expect this was going to happen. But yeah, cliche, it's been said already. You take the wins when you get them because other teams are going to lose games like that, or as as Brisbane did. They only got 2 points out of it against North. And we've got to remember last season, we couldn't win games like that. And we've won 2 of them in a row, technically, games we probably would have lost last season. The way we sort of blew a lot of those close games. So, yeah, I don't know how to feel. I mean, there's not really I feel like there's probably more negative to say than positive about the match, but you just have to take it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think all of us are. We've sort of had the same conversation over and over, so it'd be good to sort of sing the praises of a few guys because, it wasn't a great performance, but I think a few players stood up massively, in particular the Strongs and the Brayshaws, but I thought there were also quite a few other good contributors. What did you see?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a night that, Tracy and the Miss probably were a little bit disappointing, other than Tracy's, mark at the end down back. I think Voss probably stood tall. I think he kicked 3 in the end, and I think Tracy or Miss got any between them.
No, they didn't. No.
No, because we sort of look at this and we saw, our talls were going to, overpower their tall backs. Obviously, the weather probably played into it, and maybe that strategy wasn't the right one to take. But Voss was clearly the leader, that sort of group. I think Wagner, I thought was really good as well. He seems to have been pushing a bit more into the midfield a little bit because when you think about it, we probably are a midfielder short. They probably, because their midfield was probably a lot better than ours tonight. Brayshaw, Sarong, they're always stars, but I think Wagner has been starting to push in the midfield a little bit, which I like to see, and it's a bit of a trend around the comp but a lot of teams just got players just rotating through the midfield, and essentially it's in 10 years it might get to the point where, except other than your ruckman and your key forwards, key defenders, it's just going to be 10 midfielders, and you just can have them all rotating through there. So because we get Wagner in there now, Bolton goes through there, Murphy Reid, not this year or next year, but eventually he'll go through there as well. But the two for me or 3, as I said, Voss, Wagner I was really impressed with. And Fife as well, I think, showed that a lot of us didn't think Fife was getting in a game this year. But I think he won't leave the side for a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting you just mentioned that we were a midfielder short because in the past few weeks, I don't necessarily think we have been, but tonight we definitely were because it was Sarong and Brayshaw doing all the grunt work. And then, Bolton was giving us some ascendancy. I thought Bolton played a good game, but he was doing most of his work in the forward half. Johnson, I didn't notice particularly. I looked at the stat sheet and he did all right, but I didn't notice him massively. Erasmus didn't have an amazing game, got subbed off at 3/4 time. And then, as you said, it is the guys like the Wagners that really stepped up as that third mid. Fife came on in the 4th quarter, stepped up as a third mid. So it's just the guys that we've got that can step up, and we've got a deep bag we can go into, when that midfield isn't clicking fully, especially, deeper when Sarong and Brayshaw are already having good games. So, yeah, I think that's a really good mention. I thought we defended quite well tonight. Like, we only conceded 67 points. Yes, we, only won by 6, but I thought the back 6 as a whole played quite well. Who looked good down there for you?
Yeah, obviously, it wasn't raining, so maybe we're scoring a little bit less than usual. And if you include the 4th quarter from that, then yeah, we probably did. But I thought Cox was really good, to be honest. I think, now we've got no Pierce down there, so Cox is number one, basically, a key defender. And he played that role really well tonight, I thought. Warner is probably impressing me more every game. And as I said, same with Wagner, but he's more on the midfield. I think, Cox is the main one. I think, as I said, there probably was more negatives than positives. But if I was to give praise to any defender, it was absolutely Cox. I thought he was huge tonight.
What do you think about Banfield's game? I thought he was superb.
Yeah, Banfield I thought was good. Yeah, Banfield. He came up with a few clutch moments as well. I think he might have taken a few, well, not contested marks, but a few contested as well. Particularly late in the 4th, I thought Banfield had a pretty strong presence as well. So, but these are the sort of games that Banfield is good in. He can, because of the amount of positions he can play. You can throw him wherever and he'll do the job. So that's what he's there to do. He's not there to be the star player, as I was saying, he's there to do the role he's told to, basically. I thought he did that pretty well tonight.
Yeah, I also asked someone earlier what they thought of the Darcy Jackson combo tonight. I thought it worked really well, apart from the fact of when Jackson was roving, which is funny because I thought in the Suns game, our best midfield mix looks like Darcy in the ruck, Jackson roving. Where tonight, I didn't think it worked as well with both of them in the center circle. Maybe it was, I'm not sure why that was, but I thought when Darcy was in the ruck and Jackson was down forward, maybe it's just a horses for courses thing, but I thought we looked quite good tonight.
Yeah, I think it's it was good the last game. It was good this game as well. I still don't expect it to be the plan going forward. To be perfectly honest, I think the club's probably got other plans with how they're going to do that. Whether it's going to be someone else other than Darcy, whether they are just going to have Jackson and Voss as the number 2. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go. But yeah, it did work well tonight. I thought Darcy, I think his ball handling, I think, was pretty good as well, which I don't think it has been previously. He's pretty good. And yeah, as I said, Jackson, but the weather did play into that a bit. Yes, it was raining on the Gold Coast as well, but just the fact that, it's not really a tall midfielders sort of night, really. So I guess that's why he's played forward a bit more. Maybe negate the fact that Tracy was going back a little bit as well. But obviously that was the last few minutes. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still really undecided on the whole the two ruckmen. As I said, I still don't expect them both to be there next year just because of all the noise and everything like that and the big contracts they're both on. But there are ways we can make it work. Is it going to work every week? Probably not. But yeah, it can work. And you look at next week to Essendon, they've got a 37-year-old Goldstein as their ruckman, and other than that, they don't have much. So yeah, that they could be a bit of a bloodbath in the hit-out camp next week, I reckon. But, yeah.
Do you reckon we play both of them next week? If you're in the coaching staff, would you play both of them next week?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as I was saying, like it's a bit similar to tonight, I guess, with the fact that they've got basically no tools, almost either end of the ground at the moment. In the fact that basically, I think in the mid-season draft they almost only took tools or something, and they had like four picks. Do I play both of them? I reckon I probably would. You'd have to wait for the conditions to see what happens there, because there's how much that's had an impact the past 2 games. But I reckon I probably would. Maybe. Do you play Jackson Ford? Probably not. That's probably too many to have 4 tools down there. But I'd probably have Jackson roaming a bit more through the midfield. And you'd have Darcy on. You wouldn't have him on that much time on ground. You wouldn't have him on more than maybe 60. But yeah, that's probably what I'd do.
I'm probably in the same boat as you. Right now, forecast is saying that we'll be raining Thursday night. So, yeah, look. But, hey, to be honest, we're with the specialists now. We're not losing in the wet, so maybe it's a good thing. All right. We've still got a few in the waiting room to get through, so I'll let you go now, Jordan. Thanks for jumping on. As always, great insight, and up to Dockers.
The Dockers. Nice.
Jamie, we'll get you in now. Let's hope that's better. You look all right in the waiting room.
All right. Are we all good?
We're all good, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no delay. It's all good. All
Beautiful.
Right. So, yeah, it's just like a icky sort of game. I have a few things actually that I picked up on during the game. Those few minutes before we kicked that final goal was some of the worst footy I've ever watched.
It wasn't good.
From both sides. It was just like, what are we doing? Like, I'm watching the TV with my dad and we're just laughing the whole time because it's just ridiculous. Like, we're just fumbling every single ball inside 50 and I'm like, oh, this is like, we're going to lose this one. This is what the Dockers do. But, yeah, we managed to just scrape our way through, I guess. Break the curse. Good enough. I reckon. I don't think that'll linger for the Essendon game, but yeah.
I was thinking while that shit football was being played, I've got sympathy for the rest of the footballing world because there was no other option tonight than to watch that game. That was the only game on, standalone, whole world watching, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, that was, mate. Ah, oh well.
I don't know what you can
Oh
say.
well.
Well, look, it was pretty bad in stages, but we did get the win. What caught your eye, and what do you think got us over the line?
I think Brayshaw's really just like standing up as like, oh, this has to be our next captain. I think Sarong's good, but he's still a bit like he just doesn't seem to have the same level of leadership. And I don't know if I'm just being too nitpicky there, but like he's like even tonight, like he was good. He got the disposals, like did what he needed to do in the contest. But it feels like when Brayshaw gets the ball, like we'll be all right. Like something good is going to happen. Versus Sarong, like he gets the ball and like yeah, he'll get it out. He'll get a clearance for sure. But like, is his usage the best? Like particularly this season hasn't been all too amazing. So like even if you think back to the Gold Coast game as well, like when Brayshaw, like in that last moment where he got hit over and he gets up, he's got the ball there and he's just like directing the team like this is what we're doing, like get back. The kick, you know, it's like to the right spot. Like I feel there's a lot more trust in Brayshaw's decision making. So that's how I feel there. I'm just really happy that we have Brayshaw on the team, to be honest. In terms of Jeremy Sharp, I wonder if, like, is there an aspect of he's not being utilized quite the right way? Because I remember last season he had a like very clear breakout season and he was amazing for us. I don't think he's just like, surely he's not dropped off a cliff in terms of skill level.
I'm not sure. That's an interesting one. I think last couple games, I think this game in particular, the ball was on the wing a lot more. Maybe that's to do with our ball movement, but it was also just due to how the game was played. And he ended up getting 14, 15 disposals, which was the most he's had in a few weeks. Where the games where he's been only getting 3-4 touches, I think he's been running really well and keeping the width of our game in good order. But we've been using the corridor and we've been playing good football. So I think it's sort of just, if we play well, Jeremy Sharp doesn't touch the ball. And I don't think that's I don't think that's anything on him. I just think it's sort of a game style thing. But I also think that Sharpie's had a few good games where he's only had 3 or 4 touches. But today I thought he was noticeably not very good. Like there are a few times he got the ball and he made some skill errors. And I'm like, when you're getting the ball that little, you've got to be using the ball better than he was.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so obviously, yeah, like he's like there's still a bit of inconsistency there as well. But like the disposal count thing, like as a winger, surely he's not just like that can't be entirely just drop off of skill level. Like I can't. How could you see that happening? Also with such a like he's still relatively young player as well. It's like has he really dropped off a cliff to like 3 or 4 disposals in multiple games, or is there something to do with the game plan as well? I don't know, but it's just thought something I'm thinking about because I don't know. It seems like very different sort of game style and tactics, a lot more experimental than maybe last season as well. So I wonder if we're just figuring out how to sort of bring him into the new aspects of the game plan.
Yeah, it's interesting because we are using corridor a lot more this year. And, you know, wingers in the good teams tend to get involved and they get on the inside, but I'm not sure if that's his game. I think if Nathan O'Driscoll was in the team, he'd sort of be more prone to getting on the inside and getting
for sure.
The ball. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a subjective one on who you prefer. Did anyone else catch your eye before I let you go?
Yeah, I was just going to say last thing. Obviously, Jackson didn't perform as well, like in terms of hitouts, as Darcy did against Cherry. But I don't think that doesn't have a massive effect on how well we do. The whole value of Jackson isn't about his hit out work. It's about the sort of follow up and him being on the inside and being like essentially another midfielder once the ball gets to ground. So Darcy for sure went well in hit outs. But I don't if we're talking about do we play only one ruck next week? There's no question it has to be Jackson, because I think the value in the modern game that he provides is much more than maybe the hit out dominance of Darcy against bigger rucks.
Yeah, I actually said it from early on. I thought Darcy was the better match for Cherry tonight. I think you could probably sort of see it from before the game. I think any fan could have. But I think it was evident from midway through the first quarter that Darcy was going to be the guy to sort of, outwear Cherry in the ruck. And I thought Cherry was really good. I don't necessarily think we won the battle in the ruck, but I thought we mitigated him really well. So, yeah, I think that's a good point. Thanks for jumping on, mate. And, very valued. Up the Dockers. Diggy breaking Hooters this year. I know, aren't we? The Giant, first win at NG ever. First win on the Gold Coast in 10 years. First win off the bye in 4 years. We're taking the piss. We've won 4 in a row. When was the last time we done that? All right, Zach, I'm going to get you in now. Hello, mate.
How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. We got the 4 points. That's all that matters.
What an absolutely scintillating game of football that was. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. It was just skillful and, two quality teams going back and forth with some excellent accuracy at goal. It had everything that game, mate.
Scintillating is definitely the word I'd use. It was it had me on the edge of my seat. Unfortunately, I was off my seat when Jackson kicked that goal late. I really shouldn't have been as excited as I was.
Yeah, I know. I started ended the game. I started clapping. I'm like, what am I really clapping here?
You had the high of the Jackson goal, and then the siren goes. You celebrate, and you slump into your seat, and you're like, "What am I celebrating here?"
Exactly. It's like, I can't lower my standards this low. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the last time I won the buys 2021. I think off the buy 2020, 2021. So it's good to break that curse, I guess you could say. But gee whiz, I don't care. I haven't won the buy in the last 20 years. We should have won. Should have been more convincing than that. But I guess you can't complain too much. A win's a win, and it's crucial with where we are on the ladder. But yeah, it was not very inspiring.
Big win for our South as well today over East Perth.
Oh yeah, mate. I did the double header today. Went to a Freo Oval. It was colder than a witch's tit, but yeah, no, it was a good win. I saw. Did you watch any of the Peel game?
No, I've seen the stats and I saw the score, but
you see, I didn't notice Walters didn't play, which is
Walters and O'Meara both didn't play. I saw the teams yesterday, and that caught my eye.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Walters was named, wasn't he? At least he was.
Nah, he wasn't named.
Oh, was he? Okay, yeah, right.
No, I thought he was going to be, because they were both named as tests, and I think Phil Merriman or whatever said they were going to play at some level this weekend, but it didn't end up getting up, I guess.
Do you think that Hugh Davies deserves a crack, assuming Pearce isn't fit, instead of Josh Draper next week?
Oh, I think Oscar McDonald's the guy, to be honest.
Yeah, true. I think he's been playing. Did Oscar McDonald even play for Peel?
Oh no, I don't think he did. I didn't see him.
I'm looking right now. He might have been the carryover, I guess. Maybe was he named as an emergency at the AFL?
I can check. It was.
But he didn't play for Peel.
From memory, our emergencies were Dudley, Aish, and McDonald. So if Aish played, then McDonald would have been the carryover.
Yeah, Aish didn't play in number 88. Yeah, McDonald was. Yeah, McDonald's in number. McDonald didn't play, and Dudley and Aish did. But yeah, Draper just so down on confidence. Which is understandable. What, he's 20, 21, key position player. He's probably overachieving from what you'd expect from him, because he's a Category B rookie, wasn't he?
Yeah, he came from solo. He came from our NGA, a real late pick.
So
I think he probably would be draft.
Yeah. I don't want to knock the bloke too harshly, but I think it's probably I understand you're trying to give him time to develop and grow, but when we're in the situation that we are, we're versing a team with a decent second key forward. Obviously, the Gold Coast don't really have a decent second key forward. Neither does North Melbourne, and neither does Essendon next week, mind you. But still, it is a bit of a worry. Even Jack Darling at times tonight looked back to his 2015 self with a few marks he took, which was a bit concerning. But I don't think they'll drop Draper, but personally, if I had to make a change from the team tonight, it probably would be Draper out for either McDonald or Davies, but I don't expect it to happen.
Well, fingers crossed Pierce is fit for Thursday night because they said
Yeah,
there's a chance.
that's the easy fix to the problem. But I got no idea. It still said TBA, didn't it, during the week on the injury
Yeah.
list?
It did.
So,
I don't.
yeah.
They said it wasn't like expected he'd be back for Thursday, but they said like they will give him every chance. So I'm saying that's 50-50. I'm not sure
And
what's going to
without
happen.
sounding too cocky, I'm not sure I'd rush him back for Thursday, which will probably come back to bite me on the ass. But
Mate,
yeah,
5-day break, and our boys looking knackered in the third quarter. Like, I'm not going to this game with high amounts of confidence. Like, yes, we should win. They just got pumped by 100. They're also on a 5-day break, and they're traveling across the country. We should win. They've got like 20 17-year-olds out there. But look, who knows?
I'll be damned if we don't rest Darcy off a 5-day break because I don't think Goldstein will play. Really, I'd be surprised if Goldstein plays
True.
this week.
No, who else do they have in the ruck?
Well, they had that Blackiston guy drive from Mason Mantle. I was like, oh,
True.
they played him to give him like a chop out to Goldie today so I can play him for the full game against Freo. And I've watched some of that game and Blackiston's playing as a key defender. So I was like,
Back
what's going
on the
there?
Shannon Hill. And of course, Shannon Hill gave him the path because Freo was red and white.
I mean, I do tap myself as quite the waffle enthusiast. And I do watch quite a bit of waffle. I've never seen Blackiston play as a key defender before, so I could be wrong, but I thought it was an out and out ruckman, so they really are desperate. But yeah, I'd be surprised if Goldstein plays. So
yeah, I actually didn't even think of that.
I would rest Darcy.
Yeah. If it's Jackson versus Blackiston, then oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. If it was Darcy and Jackson versus Blackiston, then you probably fear for the bloke's career, but I don't think it's necessary to play both of them. I don't know, what's the weather looking like for next Thursday? Let me have a quick
raining.
look. Is it? Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
shock me.
says at the moment 20% chance of rain.
I tell you what, if it rains on Wednesday night and Thursday during the day, the pitch will be an absolute disgrace. Obviously, start of Origins on Wednesday night.
Origin Wednesday. The West Coast playing Perth as well next week.
Yeah, no, they play tomorrow, don't they?
I think they play there next week too. I could be spewing shit, but they've got the bye next week. Anyway, it's going to be so West Coast Carlton Sunday, State of Origin Wednesday, Freo Western Thursday.
It's very Dockery to be playing the day after in a rugby game at the stadium, isn't it?
Oh, we're going to look, I don't want to put anything into the atmosphere, but I can smell an injury.
That's why I wouldn't play Pierce and I wouldn't play Darcy, but...
Oh, we need someone to counter Peter Wright, though, because, like, as shit as Essendon are, like, he's probably their main threat down there. I do really rate him. And I'm not sure if, Coxie's probably going to go to him anyway, but...
How much? Cox is a bit shorter than him, isn't he, though? I don't know. But I guess, actually, I was slandering Draper, but the way he plays, it could be a good matchup for Nate Caddy, actually, the way I think about it, because there's no one else in our backline's athletic enough to go with Nate Caddy. So maybe Draper does keep his spot.
Yeah. That's really interesting. It was such a short.
I couldn't imagine Brennan Cox trying to go around the ground of Nate Caddy. It would be a sight for sore eyes. The lethargic Cox he is, but yeah, I think he'd be a good do a decent job on right, but I can't imagine him locking down Caddy. But it'd be interesting to see who because Essendon they got Goldstein. Obviously, he's pushing 40. But I was going to say who else might they rest, but he's about the only bloke who's anywhere near that sort of stage in their career.
Yeah, there's no one else. Who have they got? So they got,
or maybe what's his name? Parrish. Maybe he's come back off an injury, 5-day break. I don't know, but
true. We've really. I'll tell
I'm
you
really,
what.
I'm really talking this up to me. We should win by. We should be a 100-point winners next week, which won't happen. But I think the team selection interests me next week.
Yeah, it does. I'm not sure what's going to happen next week. I'm so happy that we've just picked up 4 points. Because at the moment, if so many little things in that game tonight go the other way, we're sitting here and just rambling about how shit everything is and how we hate life. When now we've just got the 4 points and we can just we can look ahead. We can just admit that was dog shit and move on.
Do you think Erasmus plays on Thursday?
Oh no, he won't. And I hate the fact that he won't play. But
I thought he was very, very poor. And I wish the best for the kid. But gee whiz, it's hard to argue a case for him to hold his spot. See, Brody got 34 touches, but he won't play, so don't worry about that.
The Will Brody Brigade. I my favourite bit about the team stream every week is the mandatory 5 Will Brody comments I get from the same 5 people every week.
I could be in your position doing a stream like that. Those comments would do my head in personally. But hopefully O'Driscoll comes in for Erasmus, maybe. I don't know. Sharp actually, we almost had a season high touches tonight with 14 Sharp.
He wasn't good. I think he's better getting 3 touches
I was listening to something during the week, and I was saying how Sharp's been going at about 3 kilometers per touch in the past 3 weeks. Like for every 3 k's he runs, he gets a touch of the ball. So
That's insanity. Professional
if he
half marathon runner.
if he doesn't get dropped off how he's been performing the last few weeks, I don't think he ever will. So I think O'Driscoll maybe comes in for Erasmus. I doubt. Will they even play Fife with a 5-day break? I don't know.
Yeah, he only played a quarter. I think Fife might get promoted into the 22. We might play
off a 5-day break. You reckon without playing a full game yet? I don't know.
Well, he's played 2 quarters now, and off a 5-day break, he's played 1 quarter. Like I think that's okay. The thing is, Fife's a really, really good sub. So
yeah, he is. Oh, I think I was looking before. He came around to eight handballs, all handballs in the last quarter, but 6 of them were contested. And I thought he was brilliant. But then I also think about how good of a sub Walters would be. So you can't obviously have both of them as sub, but it'd be interesting to see. I think Walters is still a few weeks away, so that's not an issue to talk about now. But I don't know. Can Fife get through full games week in, week out? Who knows? I mean, he did last year, but.
Oh, I remember he had that 37 disposal game against the Bulldogs, and then he was
had like 15 clearances or something too, didn't he? Something ridiculous.
Yeah, he had a silly game, and it was subbed the next week at the MCG. So
yeah, that's right.
We know how to sort of manage him. I'm sure we'll do that throughout the year. It's going to be harder with a guy like Darcy though, because it's not like we can just make Darcy sub for the fun of it. So
no, but I'd like to say it's horses for courses when you're playing, but that won't happen. Like, I wouldn't play him on Thursday, obviously, as I said, not just because of the 5-day break, but even if it was just Goldstein off an 8-day break, I wouldn't play Darcy because Jackson can easily deal with Goldstein by himself. But I think he'll probably get a game week in, week out. But like, how much game time did he play tonight? Let me check that, because it felt like he wasn't on the ground for very long at all.
What I reckon we do is that we do the Geelong thing, and we name Darcy on the ground as the ruck. And if we find out Goldie's not playing and we're going up against Blackiston, we do the laid out, the illness, or hamstring awareness.
61% for Darcy tonight.
That's
it's like having one less player on the interchange bench when you think about it, because like he's only rotating on for like Jackson or Tracy, so literally he's like having 3 players on the bench if he's playing 60% of the game.
To be fair, I thought he got around the ground quite well today, Darcy. Like,
yeah, he did. But that being said, Cherry's a very good ruckman, but his probably weakness is getting around the ground. So maybe they got made to look better by Cherry's lack of mobility around the ground. But yeah, I do agree. He didn't look too slow. But how's a chest mark he dropped on the wing? God, that was one of the most peak Sean Darcy.
To be fair, everyone was doing it. There was on the other wing. I think someone dropped an open chest mark, and it was just doing it. Look, I wasn't out there, so I'm not sure how hard the conditions were, but chest marks feel like pretty simple footballing tasks to carry out.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. But besides from that, I reckon Frederick, mate, I'll come in here and knock him a few times. And when I haven't been on, maybe last month or so, he's been good. But tonight, gee willikers, didn't even know he was playing.
No.
Terrible.
Freddie, I don't know, because he does small, really good things. And at the time, at the ground, I go, well done, Freddie. But no, I think he did. I think every game he does a few really small, good things. But is it enough to put together a good game as a whole? No, I wouldn't say he had a good game. But he's someone you keep in the team because
I know. I'm not
that you can win a big game.
He can. But my old man listening to the radio. He mentioned before he reckons that Swickowski got injured. They said on the radio, but I can't find anything about it.
Hammy. He'll be out.
Did he?
Against Everton. Yeah. I only found out after the game as well. Check the AFL out.
That's probably Dudley in for him then. That's an easy change.
Yeah, exactly. Dudley kicked 1-3 today.
Anyways, I won't bang on for too long. I'm sure other people you got willing to speak to, but I'll be
There's no one in the waiting room. Just got a bit of chat to get through. So don't feel like you're taking up anyone's time.
No, I'll tell you what, mate. I was quite a knocker of Bailey Banfield on this stream a couple of times.
What a game!
I'm happy to stand back and say, actually, I'm technically not wrong because he's had to change positions to earn my respect, but he's serviceable, Banfield. I think he's straight out when Walker's back healthy. Don't get me wrong, but he's not like a star, but he makes less errors as a defender, I guess. But anytime he marks the ball, he's on the 50, looking to try switch it. I'm just looking there, going, mate, just hack it down the line. Just whatever you do, don't try to pick someone off in the corridor, but. No, he was good tonight, Banfield. I'll give him his due. He was very good.
One thing I think plays into Banfield's favour is that we don't have a left-footed backman, do we? I think he's the only one at the moment. So there are a few instances where is he the
Yeah.
only one? Fox, Pierce,
Yeah.
Clark, Wag. Yeah, they're all right-footed. So there are a few instances where I
Chapman
think,
a right footer? Yeah. Chapman.
yeah, right-footer. Few instances where I think that thank God we've got a left footer there, because there are a few times where you just do need someone that's comfortable on that side of their body. And I think he's a good ball user out of there too, which is surprising because he's known for an error, his old banners. But I think in a role where the errors are more costly, he's actually stepped up to the plate. So yeah, been loving his last couple games as a backman. But yeah, I do agree when Walks is back fit, I'm sure he'll be back out the side.
He turned it over 4 times, but intercepted it 6 times. So if he's getting more intercepts and turnovers, then I'll take that for banners. That's all you can really expect of the great man.
I reckon a lot of people had a lot of turnovers tonight, though. It was just that game.
I'm looking at Brendan Walker, 1 week away from a shoulder. Oh, I thought it was longer.
He's really fast tracked. He'll come back through the waffle. I heavily doubt he'll be straight back into the AFL side.
Yeah, well, guess who Souths are playing next week, mate? Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's right. It's up in Mandurah, isn't it?
Yeah, playing Peel, so hopefully...
Down in Mandurah, sorry. Yeah.
Hopefully straight back into the AFL team.
Mate, I'm not sure. Bit of South news. Is Hayden Schloeth coming back to league next week?
No, I don't think so. I did.
Okay.
Well, I got there for the second half, and he was running on a Sean Darcy time on ground schedule, so I think he'd still be a couple of weeks away. But he was playing mainly forward. He kicked 1 goal 4.
Oh,
so, but no, yeah, I reckon besides like a big finals game or like after the Siren Gold, like even for a reserves game, there was a lot of people there, obviously, for that reserves game, just for that reason. And when he kicked a goal, I reckon that's the loudest cheer I've heard of the Waffle game besides like a final. It was quite ridiculous, actually. Not ridiculous, that's the wrong word, but it was amazing. That's a better word.
Mate, South are massive. I'm not sure why that would be ridiculous.
No, just like the fact that the cheer for his goal in a reserves game was so loud.
Yeah.
I understand. Don't get me wrong.
The circumstances, obviously.
I was taken by it, but yeah, the Waffle, mate. South. Not getting too ahead of myself, but booked the bus to Optus in the second last week in September, mate.
Looking very, very good.
I reckon Peel, despite being 6 points out of the finals, because the Dockers are getting healthy, that obviously means Peel get better. They could come steaming home, Peel.
That grand final side was silly last year, looking back on it. We had Carl Warner, Neil Erasmus, Cooper Simpson, who else? O'Driscoll played that game.
O'Driscoll, Brody, Voss.
Voss. Fuck. It was a really good team.
Taberner.
Oh my God. Where's Tab? Wasn't he at South? Isn't he at South?
Coach. He's a coach, I think.
Yeah, coaching there, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I reckon that maybe Draper might have played as well.
Hey, it's looking good.
It's nothing compared to the heyday of when they didn't have any rules about how many Dockers players could play in the team during the finals, like when Peel won in like 2017 and they had like
2017 flag. Oh, that team. I think
Luke Ryan won the best on ground medal of like 30 touches and 20 marks or something ridiculous.
Yeah, Brennan Cox played that game. All right, let me get the team up. Zach Dawson.
That's when Zach Dawson hadn't played a game since round 5 in that season, and Aaron Norton got dropped for him in the grand final. It was a big controversy at the time.
Zach Dawson, Nick Subin, Tommy Sheridan, Sean Darcy, Gary Ibbotson, Cam Sutcliffe, Matt Taberner, Griffin Logue, Brennan Cox, Daniel Pearce, Luke Ryan, Josh DeLuca, Sam Collins, Ryan Nyhouse, Taylor Dooman.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, mate, you've gone off.
Yeah, sorry, that was an accident. I'm back.
Incredible. Even last by the way, this is unprecedented in the fan cams.
Oh, sorry, mate. That's my bad. But I'm the waffle enthusiast, mate.
Mate, I love the waffle chat.
Yeah. There's a few waffle comments in the chat as well. Yeah, the doc side view. Apparently Norton does hate Freo because of that Dawson thing. He's right.
Does he?
Diggy Roscoe, another Bulldogs enthusiast, mate. When's the Bulldogs Faithful coming up?
Oh, we might have to.
Actually, he's a South Freo radio show on Sport FM.
I was aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who hosts it, but I'm aware of it.
The bloke, yeah, I'm mates with the bloke. He's the same bloke who does like the ground announcing at South's games.
Oh, you're mates with everyone at South Freo though.
Yeah, except the bloke in the wrestling mask. Did you? I couldn't get to the derby because I was fucking working. Did you?
You're joking. I was at the derby and you weren't. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Did you see the bloke?
I was in the grandstands, sheltering from the rain.
Oh yeah, I was. Oh yeah, I wasn't too displeased I missed it because of the weather, but it was a Dockers-like performance from South, actually, the goal kicking.
He kicked about 0 goals 30 in the first half. So that was good. Difficult watch.
But yeah, anyways, no, I'll be interested to see the team this week, as I said. I hope we don't rush Pierce back, and I hope we rest Darcy, but not often what the fans want, what the fans get with the team selection at the Dockers, mate, as you can see with Will Brody. But yeah, we shall see, I guess.
I reckon it'd be really fun being an Essendon fan this season because you just mentioned like the fans don't often get what they want with team selection, which I'm not really going to complain about because the coaches know better than us.
Yeah.
But like Essendon have had like 10 debutants this season, and the fans have been saying, "Blood the youth, play the youth. Season's over, play the young guys." And it's exactly what they've done. And they're losing. Like the Geelong game probably wouldn't have been very fun today, but they probably had fun doing it because they had the guys that have never played AFL football before.
Just quietly, just sorry to reply to this huge arsehole. Funny name, that one, mate. Will Brody. I'm not a Will Brody enthusiast, mate. I was just using it as a reference for fans blowing up about team selection. I'm not one of those guys. I just want to make that very clear. I'm not one of those guys. But
we actually haven't had Will Brody enthusiasts on the fan cams before. I'm interested when I cross paths with one.
I'd like you to sit down and interview one of them, please, if you can. Just you might lose a few brain cells doing so, but you know, it would be interesting to watch.
Oh, all right. They're certainly a breed, aren't they?
Mate, I had to ban myself from reading Dockers like Instagram posts when they put the team up. I literally had to ban myself from doing it.
It's always the first comment, isn't it? Brody question.
I can't help myself. I cannot help myself. It's just like, a few times I nibbled. I was like, "Oh, you're better than that, mate. You're better than that."
Freddie frustrates me when he's on, but he seriously needs to work forward contest, marking and ground ball. It's interesting because his teammates have always considered him a really, really good overhead mark, and it's pretty evident he is. We just don't really put him in that position. And it's maybe because we've got stronger key forwards now. We don't need him in an aerial position a lot of the time. But yeah, it's hard to get Freddie in the game when so many other guys are contributing.
Did you see towards the end of the game there, he was playing behind the ball? I was surprised to see that.
I didn't.
Like the last 2 minutes, he was like playing like Aussie Tracy was behind the ball. So as Frederick was a spare defender. I was like, gee.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. Yeah. But I agree with that comment. The bloke's probably the biggest vertical leap in our team besides Bolton. Like you'd feel like he'd impact marking contests more than he does, but I guess when you've got the key forwards we do, you don't need to. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird. When's the last time you remember Frederick taking a contested mark?
Oh, Nick Dacos areas.
Yeah, you couldn't think of it.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it's a pretty weird question to ask, but like nothing stands out in my mind. I remember it took a pack.
To be honest, like after every Freo game, I don't necessarily replay the Michael Frederick contested marks in my mind.
No, but you know what I mean. Like even if you sat down and thought about it, I bet you couldn't answer me. Like I feel like he's got the capabilities to, but I don't know why he does not. I wouldn't say he's never in the position to. I just feel like he just doesn't. Can he?
He sort of isn't. We've also played a lot of wet games recently, so no one's really taking contested mark.
Oh, here we go. I've got the answer. I got the answer for you. The last contested mark Michael Frederick took was against the Western Bulldogs in round 5.
There you go. It's been a while, and he's played every game since then. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Last year he took 8 of them. The year before that he took 4. The year before that he took 4. You'd feel like he'd take more, like with his skill set.
That sounds like low numbers. Because as J-Dod's just said here, I can visualize Freddie taking a contested mark very well.
Yeah, but was not many of them to think of. So yeah, I must have a good memory, mate. But
I think every fan base says season's overplayed the kids at some point. We were saying after the Saints loss. I wasn't, at least. I don't think the fan base really was. Like, yes, we were pissed off after the loss and we cracked it, but I don't think
people in the aforementioned Instagram comments were. But yeah, it's a deep dive place of Dockers Instagram comments.
Actually, I apologise. I think we may have mentioned Jack Deline on the podcast that week.
Did he kick 5 goals the week after? Was it the week?
He kicked 5 goals last week, and he went goalless today. So
yeah, I did. I saw he got almost 20 touches though, which must be close to a career high in all seriousness.
So maybe he's a Jeremy Sharp replacement.
No, it has to be O'Driscoll. If he gets replaced, which I told you before, he's going to get 3 kilometres of disposal. He's not getting dropped off that. I don't see how he'll ever get dropped.
Yeah, and he wasn't very good today, Jeds, but I'm not sure. I think the coaches probably see something that we don't see.
He runs like I don't know what else he does. He's very good at being tackled over the line too. He's probably the best in our team at getting the ball and getting tackled over the line.
So I haven't thought Sharp's been bad the past few weeks or before the bye. Like even when he wasn't getting any touches.
It's hard to say someone's bad when they never like he doesn't get in the opportunity to do something stupid. Like he doesn't get the ball to like make a ridiculously bad turnover or something.
Exactly.
Like
Like Matt Johnson's a lot more of a whipping boy because he can get like 25 touches in the game and 10
turn
of
over
those
10
can be
times. Yeah,
really
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I
But
know
then
what you
15
mean.
of those can be really good. So yeah, when you get more of the ball, it's way easier to be the whipping boy. When Jeremy Sharp's just hiding out on the wing, running half marathons as a hobby, it's it's a
I'm
difficult
trying
one.
to. They're not. How long after the game they put up how fast I'm
Oh,
and I can't find it.
Frederick, I said it on the podcast during the week, and Drews didn't agree, but I reckon that we're going to look back at the Saints game at the end of the season and think, thank fuck, because we pulled our fingers out after that. Like the only loss we've had since then was a Collingwood game, and that was a respectable loss. Like we really should have won that game against the best team in the comp. So there's a lot of sort of essence in this season, to be honest. Like wasn't a great win tonight, but win's a win, and we can build.
I can confirm tonight Jeremy Sharp's kilometre to disposal ratio was down to 1.2. Yeah, I do actually.
I can see.
That was his disposal to kilometre mark.
There you go.
1.16.
Does Deline get delisted? Feel like there'll be a squeeze on the spots? Maybe this year's Tom Emmett. Yeah, I think he will. I want to see him get one.
You can't call him a Tom Emmett because he's not going to play a game. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You have
Tom
to
Emmett
call him
was a funny one.
I'm trying to think of. You have to call him like a Joel Weston.
Joel Weston
even he played a few games.
Yeah, we'll call him a Luke Valenti. No, he retired. Who did not play? I'm thinking a Jordan Wilson King.
Or what was that bloke's name? Oh, can't remember. No, I don't remember. Jordan Wilson King.
Real... Yeah,
I'm trying to find it. Jesus.
His debut might be coming soon. Not sure when. I'm not sure about
I think he's had one good game in the Waffle this year. Like one game you've heard like multiple like Waffle pundits or Peel pundits talk about, and that's when he kicked 5 goals. Like, don't get me wrong. I hope he
like. Did he play wing that game?
I don't
Maybe
know.
Ollie Dempsey type wing.
Actually, I've got one for you. You can call him a Leno Thomas.
Oh, good pull. Jason Carter's just been.
Jason Carter. He was playing for Sales last year, and this year I think he must have been dropped to the 2s for the first few weeks of the season, and he just quit the club, stormed out.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got all to know about the South Fremantle Football Club, mate. Any South questions, and you make sure any listeners, you hit them my way. Anything obscure, don't worry about it. Jaron Carr's probably. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Jaron Carr's probably even less likely to debut than Delane. He played a few league games for South last year, and like he was not very good. He only got. I reckon if he wasn't a father-son, he was a 0.0001% chance of ever being drafted. And that sounds harsh.
I don't know about Jaron Carr. He was I watched him a bit in pre-season training. He matched up on Jeremy Sharp, and he actually looked alright. But I think that might be saying more about Jeremy Sharp.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure that's the greatest compliment you could have come up with.
I watched him in the league last year for South, and I can't say when I watched him, it just screamed at me. That bloke's an AFL footballer.
I actually think he might have been dropped by Pill this week.
Yes, he was. He was playing Resies this week.
No, there's no Resies going to play West Coast, but I'm looking at the injuries. He's not on the injury list.
I know he didn't play league because I saw he was out.
Yeah, he's not on the injury list. And he didn't play league. And if you give me 2 seconds, 1, 2,
Tara and McDonald
3,
were both out this week.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we had 12 Freo players playing, which I think is the max you're allowed. So I'm guessing he got dropped.
Okay, and that's probably why Omac didn't play either. Maybe a bit of management because he's not on the injury list. So
or carry over to the game, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think he was. I'm not even sure he was named an emergency. So yeah, unsure. What's the point of signing players like Odin Jones? He was quite highly touted when we got him. Actually, Odin.
Is he the bloke who broke his back? Is that something?
Yeah, he's on the inactive list. He's not in a good way, Odin.
Yeah, so it's a bit hard to judge that, I guess.
Easy saying hindsight, but with Darcy and Jackson on the list, it clearly wasn't going to work. Well, we need other ruckmen. Like we really need someone else that's not Liam Reedy to just be like, we need another Lloyd Meek
Josh
badly.
Draper.
Oh my
That experiment lasted a week.
The fourth quarter against St Kilda felt like a fever dream because we had Jackson and Darcy both out there, and Draper was just rucking at every centre bounce.
Oh mate,
And it was, I'm not sure what was happening.
it
That
might
game
have
was
been.
brilliant.
That is what. If I think about most odd Freo things I can imagine, that one. If you ask me in 10 years, I'll remember that game, that last quarter of that game when Josh Draper was rucking, even though we had Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson playing.
Oh, another niche Freo thing that comes to mind is just 2023 round. Was it round 24? Round 24 against Hawthorn. Tom Emmett's performance was just exceptional.
Was that?
And I don't know.
That
I don't
was
know
the
what
same
was
game.
happening, but he was
That was
amazing.
Was that not the same game? That was. Oh, I feel like it might have been a few rounds earlier. The first time that Hayden Young played in the midfield when he tagged Lockie Neal. It must have been a few rounds earlier.
Yeah, we
That's-
lost. It was a close loss to Brisbane.
That's not a niche thing. That's a good thing. That's the first time Young played in the midfield, and it's never changed since. Thank
It's
the Lord.
crazy the things you can just pinpoint along the journey that have led us to sort of this point. Obviously, Youngie's not in the team right now, but
Yeah,
he's
you're
in our
right.
first midfield.
Last round 2023, Tom Emmett had 2 goals and 18 touches and 4 tackles against Hawthorn when we although we won by 37 points.
Yeah. Oh God. Hopefully, we do that in a few weeks against the Hawks.
Also wondering, do you reckon Sam Sturts, when he comes back from injury, which I don't, I'm just checking the injury list again for like the 5th time
He's
since I've spoken to
PBC.
him.
He keeps getting setbacks. Poor guy. He was only 2 weeks away a couple weeks ago.
Theoretically, if he's fit, do you reckon he gets a spot in the team?
Oh, it's hard. I've always been a big
What?
Sam Sturt fan.
I
'Cause I
think
think he's
he's
a
like
good
the
guy.
he's like the person who, like, him and Frederick have one spot in the team, I reckon.
Yeah, and who do you think wins us a game off their own boot?
Sturt.
Do ya? I think Sam Sturt's a better footballer than Frederick, but I think Frederick's X factor is invaluable.
Who's more consistent? Now, that's a real question.
I think we all know the answer to that. But the thing, I think Sturdy, when he plays his best football, is when he's playing his third tall.
Is he?
And I don't think he's going to be third tall in this.
Is he out of contract, Sturt? Do you know?
Unsure. If you can check that for me.
Okay, 2 seconds. Because
I'm not
I
sure.
mentioned if he is hypothetically, I wonder what would happen with that. I mean, surely you re-sign him.
Oh, you do, yeah. Riddle being given an extension tells me that back in the next week. Riddle's been playing a bit of forward recently
Yeah,
for
I was about
Peel,
to say that.
but
Been
he's
playing
highly
forward.
touted. Is what I've heard. I mean, in the few Peel games I've watched this year, he's been very good with old Aaron Riddle.
Fremantle, Sam Sturt is not a free agent this year.
So poor Sebek Quek didn't have an amazing game today.
No, mate, he's terrible. The commentators kept absolutely slandering him too. He was absolutely horrendous. I don't know. I didn't see a lot of him before he did his ACL, but I don't know if it's ever since then he's been terrible. But like the bloke just stands still and like he doesn't lead for the ball, but like the
guy was special. He was special. I remember preseason game at Coburn Arc against Adelaide in 2023. The guy was special. It was in like the 6th and 7th period. He came on and he was like Wemby. He was like, it was a freak of nature. He was like 7 feet tall and he was just going, he was the speediest guy on the field. He was taking the piss. Like, I loved him. I fell in love with him that game. And
I'm just looking at his stats for this season too. He was terrible for that. I can tell you that for free. Horrendous.
He must have been good at East Perth when we drafted him because we got him mid-season.
Yeah, he was. Okay, I take that back. This year he's kicked 9, 10, 15 goals from 8 games. Well, it's 15 goals from 7 games. He basically didn't play today, but that's not too bad, I guess. But no, he was horrific today.
Sam Sturt, once he's fit in the waffle, yeah, we've got to bring Sturdy back through the waffle because he's had the knee injury that's been keeping him out this season, and then I think he was a step back in the quad, if I'm not mistaken. So that's just a completely separate thing. So yeah, I'm not sure. Am I allowed to say that I don't think Freddie has that much X factor?
I've been too scared to say it around here, mate, because I was too scared of the backlash the host may give me. But
the host, oh mate, Sturt is 2026. Okay, so he'll have a bit longer. I'd get to re-signing that unless he just does become unplayable because he's so injury prone.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't know if he'll play footy this year. I guess no one knows. It's a guessing game, but
yeah, poor guy. In the future, could we ever get another 2019 Brandon Matera, even though the game isn't the same as it was 6 years ago? Could just get Brandon Matera.
Brandon Matera. God.
Uh,
So basically, our injury list now, if you take off Odin Jones and you take off O'Meara and Walters, let's just say hypothetically, as they probably will play next week, it's only Simpson, Sturt, Pearce, and Young, which is pretty good.
yeah, it is. Our injury list really isn't that. Like, it's pretty long, our injury list, but there's not a lot of key players on there, especially after next week.
Do you reckon
So,
O'Meara comes back in the team?
for Raz, probably, yeah. I'm not sure if he'll get a game at Peel. But
What do you think about O'Driscoll then? I said before that I reckon O'Driscoll should replace Erasmus, which I take your Jager O'Meara comment, but do you reckon O'Driscoll gets a game then if that happens?
yeah, for Sharp, I think.
Yeah, you'd think, but I just don't know. I don't know what
It's not gonna
Sharp
happen.
has to do to get dropped.
I'm not sure. As I said, I don't think Sharpie's been bad this season, but I think it was noticeable today.
It's a good problem. It's a good problem to have, but I just don't know the solution to it.
It's a great problem. Like, let's just take a step back. Like, when was the last time we've had this problem where we're
Mate,
you know,
it used to be, should we be playing Mitch Crowden or Joel Weston? Now it's,
Mitch Crowden? I was absolutely gutted when he got delisted. I've
Mate,
still
he
got
was-
faith he's a good footballer.
he was a gun in the waffle when he got delisted. He turned to like a midfielder instead of a small forward. He was a gun.
Reminds me of a little Matt Guelphy, to be honest. Just got around.
Don't insult Mitch Crowden like that, mate.
Oh, sorry. Just the way he gets about, though. Like, the same sort of physique, same play style, hard at the footy, good goal
Yeah.
sense. Like
Yeah,
Mitchy.
no. It's not a terrible comparison, but I reckon Mitch Crowden's about 20 times tougher than Matt Guelphy.
Matt Guelphy had a good game today, despite losing by 95
Yeah,
points.
he was alright, Guelphy. He was alright, but
Yeah.
no,
Love
I do worry about next week. I was worried about tonight's game. I'm worried about Thursday too.
And then
We
the
keep
Saints.
saying
week after.
keep seeming to verse teams, excluding North Melbourne, who are coming off a big loss the week before. Like
Oh,
the
no.
Saints game we lost, they got hammered the week before, did they not?
They did, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure someone else we played recently got hammered the week before we played them. Not North,
Oh.
obviously.
Well, the Saints are going to get hammered by the Pies next week, and then the week after we play them.
No,
So that's good.
there's a reason you can think of why I hope we don't lose to the Saints.
And the Swans are going to get battered by the Bulldogs. We'll play them the week after. Like, come on. It's a piss take.
Did the
Playoff
Giants?
got
no, the
delisted.
Giants.
Toby Watson. Honestly thought we'd be seeing Pierce and Toby as our premiership winning key positions.
Swan District's legend, mate. I don't think
Oh,
he plays
that's
well anymore, Toby Watson. I don't think he does.
What's he doing nowadays? I reckon if I search him up, I'll be able to find out.
Now, my question is, where's Tom Emmett playing this year?
Sturt. Someone just said Sturt in the Sandful.
We didn't play the state game for the Sandful, so he must not be going too good.
No. Or injured.
So, he could have been.
Toby Watson, welcome to the Saints. What's this? Toby Watson is currently playing for St. Albans.
Yeah, right. That's a brilliant comparison by good old huge arsehole again, Charlie Constable and Will Brodie. This is turning into more of a waffle chat by accident. Sorry.
I'm alright with it. Waffle Faithful, Bulldogs Faithful, whatever you want. I tip North if they play Essendon right now. Oh yeah, well not really depending where it is. Yeah,
I would too. I think I would as well. Who did North play next week out of interest?
Bye, I think.
Carlton.
Oh, hello. At the G. Saturday Graveyard. That's got North all over it.
It does. Jeez,
Hey.
Poor North got a tough run coming up. Jesus.
Not poor North. They nearly made us lose.
I don't
Remember when
mind.
we did Sam Collins? Well, delisting Sam Collins at the time wasn't necessarily a groundbreaking thing. It's hindsight's a beautiful thing.
You can say the same. Remember when Essendon delisted Pat Voss? Like, it happens.
Exactly.
That's a topic we should discuss. They delisted a 20-year-old key forward after he won their VFL best in the first. The 20-year-old key forward, they delisted him.
It's not exactly like they had like Wayne Carey and Jason Dunstall keeping him out of the
they
same
had
line.
Peter Wright and Kyle Langford.
Yeah.
You
so
beauty.
I'm not sure what they were doing there. They could really use him right now. Like really, really use him.
Oh, mate,
But,
he'd be their best key forward right now. I reckon he's better than Peter Wright is.
Imagine the credit he'd get if he was in Victoria.
Mate, yeah. Did you see after the game's interview with the Fox Footy people? If not,
Vossi,
go back and
today.
watch it. It was like on their panel show after the game, like well after the game finished. It's
okay.
quite humorous.
I will go back and watch.
He talks how you think he would. Like he's an absolute nutcase, but that's
Oh,
why
he's funny.
He's slowly climbing my favorite player rankings. Actually, I wouldn't even say slowly. He's rapidly climbing my favorite player rankings.
I don't know who my favorite player is.
Well,
First
mine
time
is
in a while I
Hayden
thought
Young.
that. Mine
Hayden-
is Hayden Young, but I'm like a bit like when he doesn't play for so long,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, I need someone else to sort of get up and about for. Not sure who he is.
Mine used to be. This is really weird. Mine used to be like. Do you remember when Matt DeBoer used to play? I used to love that bloke. I
Yeah,
don't know why.
Matt the ball with a gun.
He was a gun. But no, I reckon it could be Voss right now because Young's not playing. So I'm going to say Pat Voss is my favourite player.
Oh, God,
Which
I think
sounds
it's a few people.
extremely bandwagon, but yeah.
Imagine 5 years ago, putting a projection of you into the future, and you're rocking about with the number 20 at Optus Stadium on your back. That would be I think we'd have to say where did it all go wrong. Matt Taberner super fans. Jeez. That's the thing. If people bought a Matt Taberner jumper 10 years ago as an investment, they can just rewear it now.
But who's buying a Matt Taberner jumper is my question.
Oh, it could have been an investment. They could have thought he was the next big thing.
Oh, gee, they mustn't have watched much footy in their time. Then. It's a polite way of putting it.
Oh, poor guy. All right, I'm going to end off the stream now. I've been on for that long. Thank you all for watching. The teams will be... Oh, it's a shortened week this week. Team stream Wednesday, fan camps Thursday, podcast Monday. There'll be a lot going on. Stay across it over the Instagram and YouTube. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Up the Dockers.